What if Scar was never just a villain? What if, instead, he was the result of everything that went wrong around him? And what if Mufasa wasn't entirely blameless either? This is not just the story of two brothers. It's the story of how identity is shaped by love, by fear, and by the environments we grow up in. It begins with a storm. As thunder roars across the Pride Lands, a young Kiara trembles in fear. She believes she's not brave like her father, not strong like Mufasa. But then Rafiki appears, and instead of comforting her with simple words, he offers something deeper. A story, not about a perfect king, not about a fearless hero, but about a lion who was afraid. A lion who doubted himself just like her. Far away, in a dry and dying land, a cub named Mufasa listens to his mother speak of a place called Malil, a land of endless life, water, and abundance. A place that exists not only in the world, but within him. But before that dream can become reality, tragedy strikes. A flood separates Mufasa from his parents, washing him into the unknown. Lost, alone, and paralyzed by fear, he is saved by another cub, Taka. This moment changes everything. Taka brings Mufasa back to his pride, where they meet his parents. Esh, compassionate and wise, and Obesai, a king ruled by pride, fear, and rigid beliefs. To Obesai, outsiders are dangerous. Trust belongs only to blood. And Mufasa, he is a threat. But Esh sees something different. She sees potential. From the very beginning, we are shown two completely opposite ways of understanding power. Obesai believes power is inherited. Esh believes it must be earned. Obesai avoids responsibility. Esh embraces growth. And these two perspectives will shape the futures of both cubs. Taka grows up caught between them. On one side, a mother who teaches empathy, effort, and compassion. On the other, a father who teaches superiority, control, and entitlement. Meanwhile, Mufasa, despite being an outsider, is raised with encouragement, trust, and real experience. He learns, he adapts, he grows. And that difference becomes everything. Because confidence is not something you are given. It's something you build. As the years pass, Mufasa becomes capable, brave, and grounded. Taka, however, begins to struggle, not because he is weak, but because he was never allowed to truly develop. He was told he would be king, but never taught how to become one. And deep down, that creates something dangerous, a fragile sense of self-worth. To Taka, value is not who he is, it's who he is supposed to become. So when Mufasa starts to shine, earning respect, admiration, and even love, Taka doesn't just feel challenged, he feels replaced. Then comes Sarabi. She represents everything Taka believes will finally give him worth. Love, recognition, and a path to the throne. But when she begins to connect with Mufasa, instead, something breaks inside him. Because to Taka, this isn't just about love. It's about losing, again, first his mother's attention, then his father's respect. And now, the future he believed was his. This is where envy is born, not from hatred, but from pain. And slowly, that pain begins to twist into something darker. While Mufasa continues to act from courage and connection, Taka starts making choices from fear, insecurity, and resentment, until eventually, he betrays his own brother. But even then, the story refuses to be simple, because Taka is not purely evil. He hesitates, he regrets, he struggles, he is torn between who he was and who he's becoming. And in one final moment, when everything is about to end, he chooses to act, not out of hatred, but out of something that still remains. Love. He saves Mufasa, but the damage is already done. In the end, Mufasa rises, not because of his blood, but because of who he became. And Taka, he becomes Scar, not just as a name, but as an identity shaped by every wound he never healed. And maybe that's the most tragic part of all, because Scar wasn't born a villain. He was shaped into one, by expectations, by comparison, by the belief that he was never enough, and perhaps with a different path, with different words, with someone who truly saw him. He could have been a great king too,